This the AMG way, we don't follow the crowd. Quiet money moves, we just say it out loud. Tax-free living, long plays over hype. Build it right once, let the legacy right. We talk ownership.
Welcome, everyone, to the AMG Podcast. What is going on? It's your guy, Mondo Grimes, here with Larry Woods and our wonderful new friend up in Illinois, Matt Lombardi. What's up, brothers? How y'all doing?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Woods and I've been chatting with you for a little bit via the worldwide interweb, and and we had a pleasure of chatting a few days ago, man. We're excited for the conversation. Thank you for joining today, man.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. So, hey, Woods, you had a question. You didn't ask it yet, but you were curious about my man's last name.
So I'm just curious about, great granddad, great grandma, any kind of Green Bay Packer link there?
So I wish I had a really good story, which I don't, and I appreciate you calling out the last name. So yeah, from the Chicago area, and unfortunately, as far as I could tell with the DNA and everything I could see with the family tree, there was no relation between Matt Lombardi and Vince Lombardi.
Okay.
Now, my grandfather, who I never met, looked just like Vince Lombardi, so there's got to be a connection somewhere.
Okay.
And so in the Chicago area, I'm from Chicago, so there's a big rivalry between Chicago Bear fans and Green Bay Packer fans.
Mm-hmm.
And years ago, my family and I were traveling to northern Michigan, and we stopped for a day in Green Bay. My boys were young at the time, and I made them wear their Bears jerseys under their regular shirts. So when we arrived at Lambeau Field, I had them take off their outer clothes, their sweatshirts to show their Bears jerseys. And let's just say I couldn't have asked for anything better. We had guys driving down the road swearing at us, flipping us off, and I said, "That's exactly what I wanted." So,
man, that's crazy when you got grown folks cussing at the kids.
Exactly.
Oh my God!
Exactly, and that's the rivalry that is between Green Bay and Chicago. It was very funny.
That's crazy, man. Well, hey, we definitely want to let everybody know who you are, man. So we're gonna start high level, buddy. Who's Matt? Where are you from? We heard Chicago. A little bit about you. Where are you working? All that fun stuff. Kind of gives a 30,000-foot view. Who Brother Lombardi is, man.
So I appreciate the question. So I am born and raised in Chicago. My family and I still live in the city limits of Chicago. Chicago's got a big footprint, so we're not downtown, but in the city limits. I grew up in the city. I went to college. I played football at a place called John Carroll University in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
Where I majored in marketing. And I started working. I mean, I've been working my whole life, but in the profession of marketing right after graduation, circa 1992 to today, pretty much in the field of marketing communications and other stuff along the way. So from a 30,000-foot level, that's me.
So hold on, man. Okay. So one conversation ago.
Yes, sir.
No relation possibly to the Lombardi brother.
That's correct.
But then you said you played football.
I did. Just because I played. There's thousands of people that have played football.
That's true, man. That's true.
I'm one of many.
That's true. That's very true, man. What position did you play? Just being nosy. What'd you play?
So I played defensive tackle in college.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
So yes. And John Carroll University, it's a Division III school. Their claim to fame these days is they have 30 plus front office and or NFL coaches. So all NFL guys in the coaching ranks. Some guys you may know is Josh McDaniel.
Oh, wow.
Greg Roman.
Yeah.
Are some of the offensive coordinators or former head coaches.
That's awesome, man.
From school. But a lot of front office guys too.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So what right now, what are you doing for a living? Where we know one of your buddies, obviously.
So I work at a company called Land Trust Title. We are not the biggest. We're not the smallest. We're sort of in the sweet spot here in the Chicago marketplace of title insurance, title services.
Yep.
We're part of a conglomerate. I won't go into that, but we're a great company. We're a small company in a down in a 3-4 year down flat real estate market, we have been able to grow incrementally each and every year and have a great success story. And I think that's due to the collective nature of our team and how well we work together, plus just how we position ourselves in the marketplace.
Yeah.
We are, how we like to say it is, we're in a commoditized business. I mean, title insurance is the least sexy part of the real estate transaction. So most people don't know what it is until they pay for it and say, why am I paying for insurance that I really don't need? What is this?
Yeah.
So we try and differentiate on something called customer experience. And it's something that our organization really takes to heart. And I get to be a part of that in the role that I play, is that the customer experience is how we differentiate ourselves with our attorney partners and real estate partners to try and really position ourselves that, we know there's going to be issues along the way, but how do we fix those issues? How do we address those issues? So like an example is, after each closing that we do, a survey goes out to all parties. And it says, it's literally 2 questions. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank us? How your experience ranks on this? And then give us a comment. And so the vast majority, how they track it, it's called Net Promoter Score. So from a Net Promoter Score index, we're what's known as best in class, which means we're 85 to 90 plus every year. And so, and every day, that's what we look at, is our baseline. And if there's an issue, so I see everything that comes in from these surveys. So if an attorney or a realtor comes in and says, we had an issue, we reach out to our team and say, get our side of the story. What happened here? Is there an issue? Was it our problem? Like, was it our fault? And then we address it real time so we don't happen again. And sometimes it's, unfortunately, a lot of the handful of negative reviews we'll get, say, on a monthly basis. It's not our fault, but we don't say that to the client. We just say, thanks for letting us know. But the reality is that's how we try and position ourselves differently than other companies out there. Where a lot of companies, it's just churn. We're going through this. We don't care what your experience was for you or your clients.
That's why we get along, man. Customer experience. Yeah. That is one of our main efforts in our business. So I definitely, I appreciate that, man. I respect that highly.
Relationship means everything.
And it's one of the great points of this company and organization. It was birthed before I started. So, the leadership team made the decision, and I sort of came into it and I said, I'm all in on this. Like, when I was onboarded, it's like, here's how we do business. Here's what we do. And I said, I'm in. So it's great.
That's actually refreshing. Very refreshing to hear. So
yeah, because you hate to work with companies that, I mean, you guys know, we're humans. Mistakes are going to happen.
Right.
We try our best. It's how do you address them? Do you admit, like, yeah, I made a mistake? That's, to me, one of the biggest leadership lessons I've learned in life. It's like, when you're leading people, be vulnerable and admit, like, I messed up.
Yeah.
No, you're going to mess up. It's okay. How do we then move forward after that mistake?
Great leadership.
Yeah, absolutely. So earlier you mentioned that the market was flat. So you guys have actually found your niche in that flat market to actually be successful. So what major shifts are you seeing in the industry right now?
Shifts in the real estate industry?
Yeah.
So on a U.S. nationwide basis, obviously you guys have heard the term, and Larry, I think you had said you've been in real estate for parts of your career. So, all real estate is local. So using the state of Texas or the state of Florida or the state of Illinois as an example, Florida prices are coming down statewide here and there. Your insurance rates are going through the roof. If you have, home ownership association fees, those have gone up because of hurricane damage, everything. Texas, you guys are growing. You guys got tons of jobs. You guys got a lot of housing stock. Depending on the area, Austin has gone down, but Dallas, Fort Worth is up. Whereas here in Illinois, inventory is squeezed to the limits. We're down, I think, 5% year over year, and we were down 5% the year before, and probably down 10% the year before. And so prices have appreciated here. So from a nationwide standpoint, inventory is still low. It's going to be the fourth year of pretty much flat sales of 4 million existing homes, maybe a little bit more. And prices just continue to this year, it'll be a slight appreciation nationwide, depending on the area, like in the Chicago marketplace where I'm at. There's the cover story. There is still couple newspapers here. The cover story in the Chicago Tribune today was talking about the home buying and selling process and how competitive it is, how expensive it is. So it's in the city of Chicago, it's almost $400,000 median sales price these days.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Which you hear that nationwide. It's like, yeah, that sounds right. And depending on your area, that could be like, that's pretty inexpensive. But I'm of a certain age where I remember 400,000. That's a lot of money, and now it's like that's a bargain. So
yeah, whew. Good night.
And the struggle with that is having the national average of income producers actually afford those.
That's part of the issue as well. So what you'll hear from the national stage is we need more inventory. There's not enough inventory.
Yeah.
And I would say that's absolutely true. I think on a nationwide basis, depending on who you ask, the last stat that I saw is between 1 and 5 million units of housing, however you want to define that. Single family home, condo, townhome, someone to live.
Yeah.
And so, inventory is definitely the issue. But yes, the income levels, when you look at it, and I just saw this, it might have been a Wall Street Journal article saying like I think the stat is 49% of, I'll say, kids under 30 are living with a parent these days.
Ooh, yeah.
And that's because they showed like in the 80s, the median income was about $35,000 per family. And you would be able to buy a house, and I forget what the number was, $135,000 for an average price home.
Yeah.
Where these days, I think median income is around $70,000 across the U.S., where the median sales price is around $400,000, and it's just incongruent to try,
Right.
So I've had these conversations with my peers. It's like, oh, when we were younger, we were able to do this and this. These kids should be able to do it. It's like,
no,
they can't. They don't have, rents. I don't know what rents are in your area, but in the city of Chicago,
ridiculous.
You're going to pay $2,000 for, if you're lucky, between $1,500 and $2,000 for a 1-bedroom, $2,000 to $3,000 for a 2-bedroom to 3-bedroom. So, you're making $50,000 a year.
Yep.
You try, that's going to be $2,000. You can't make it work.
Yeah.
The math is not mathing.
Unless you just say, I'm going to live downtown Chicago or one of the neighborhoods of Chicago by Wrigley Field, and then you have no money to save. So all those things come into play. So yeah, the number of kids, when I say kids, 30 and under living with the folks, it's crazy.
How has any of this impacted your business growth plan strategy?
So luckily, we work across all different channels. We have residential, we do commercial deals, we do land deals. We try and establish good relationships with attorney. Here in the Chicago marketplace, unlike other parts of the country, title insurance is managed and controlled. Like who picks the title company is the closing attorney.
Okay.
The seller's attorney picks the title company. So we try and have great relations with high-level producing attorneys.
Yeah.
We also work with a lot of real estate brokers, real estate agents. And what we try and tell them is, you're the listing agent, you control this listing. This is your asset.
Right.
And if you're working with an attorney who says, I'm going to close it at this title company, you could say, no, if you want to work with me, I want you to work with my preferred title company. So we have a great sales team. We have a great culture. And so all those things come into play in that we have established a good footprint with a good amount of what I would call partner attorneys and partner realtors who work with us. And so that's how we're able to grow. And plus, we're competing with other companies who aren't keeping up with what they need to do. As I was saying, we differentiate ourselves on the service and the experience we're giving them, where a lot of companies, that's how we pick up business. These attorneys and realtors is like, the company I'm working with doesn't know who I am. They don't care about the process and the end result. And that's an easy opening for our sales team.
Yeah.
Like, are you happy with your current title company? And the answer is no. It's like, great, let's work.
So that's interesting, man, because I was going to ask you what's working well for you guys right now, and you just said that. And I'm curious though, to flip the pancake a little bit. What are some of the things? One thing, if anything, that's frustrating, like for you guys. You're like, all right, we got to fix this. We got to get better at that. Like, what does that look like for you guys?
So the biggest thing I would say is just things that are in our control to control, but a lot of it is out of our control. So for funding, let's say.
Okay. Yeah.
We work with a lot of investors here. We have a large investor division where we have staff dedicated to working with a very robust investor community, which it's very quick. It's very unique in that you'll have a wholesaler, which is a company that you may see in your local marketplace, like, we'll buy your house cash, questions asked as is. So they'll buy that from grandma and grandpa.
Yep.
And then they take that property and they have 100 other individuals on the other side that they're going to flip. They're going to close that house and then flip it to somebody else on the same day.
Got it.
Because they, and so it's A to B, B to C is what we would call it.
Okay.
And so it all happens quickly. And sometimes funding doesn't happen. Sometimes there's issues with an heir that comes out of nowhere that says, hey, I have title on that house. So what could we do? We're always looking at our process. We're always trying to refine those things, and it's a people business, and we're reliant on our people to try and do the process as best they can. But sometimes it's just stuff gets in the way, and just like weird issues. We have multiple closing offices in the Chicago metro area. We got a couple negative reviews because the AC went out. There was a big storm that went out. The AC went out. Power went out. It's like, sorry, that's act of God. We get it.
We're not an HVAC company. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
I mean, it's not an excuse, but those are things that come into play. Yeah. You're dealing with people. You're dealing with high emotions at the closing table. Depending on the attorneys or the realtors that are sitting there and the home buyers and sellers, if they're sitting there, if there's any issues, we try and keep the emotions out of it. So, I don't know.
Well, because you mentioned you guys, it's basically relationships. You guys in the people business, obviously. Great relationships with lawyers, agents, and the like. Now, for us, Larry and I, we took some time on identifying the metrics for us and what we do. How do you guys navigate that space? Like, because humans are humans, relationships are relationships. Like, what are the metrics you guys utilize to really kind of quantify, like, and track what's going on? Like,
Mondo, we are blessed to have a staff person here who is part of what's known as business intelligence.
Ooh, I like that.
And we just came out of a meeting right now, and I complimented her. I'm like, I don't know how you ask her a question. She's got a spreadsheet ready to go within 10 seconds. And she probably has 2,000 spreadsheets at the ready showing market data, office data, who is the top agent or broker in this area, how many title orders have they put through our company, how many title orders are they putting through our competitor, how many, this brokerage, who are they using as their title company. So in terms of data and metrics, I feel that we are at the forefront of having all of it and sort of responding to it accordingly. Those are some of the things that we're looking at right now. It's there's companies in our area, and you guys have seen this, the business brokerage community is growing, and there's a lot of owners that are reaching a certain age. Be our ages, maybe not you, Mondo, but Larry and I,
right,
a certain age.
I'll take it.
where they're ready to sell their business because their kids don't want to run the business anymore.
Right.
They built the business up.
Right.
And so we're always looking at that. Is there a way to merge, acquire, et cetera?
Interesting, man. So I learned a lot right there. I mean, you have a dedicated person for metrics.
Mm-hmm.
Yoda.
Yeah, you got your metrics Yoda on staff.
We are fortunate enough to have, I like that, our metrics Yoda, and she has the ability to, like, if we say, here's what we're looking for, she could say, yes, we can do that. Or,
that's phenomenal.
Yeah. So
that's phenomenal. Like,
it's very helpful.
Yes.
And now, we could talk about AI of leveraging those things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're in the process of sort of, at least I think there's a handful of us here trying to streamline just different information of how to maybe leverage AI to streamline these things.
That's so good, man. Because, so we're in a relationship business too, different sector, but relationships are relationships. People are people. And I would say, at least I'm guilty of focusing on the relationship so much to sometimes the metrics kind of come later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's very smart of you guys to have that, like, literally co-pilot, sometimes even pilot, directing the plane. You know what I mean? You guys like that is smart, man.
Yeah. I mean, we see a daily report of
that.
For the month, the closing schedule, the orders scheduled. We know from a macro level what's happening in the marketplace with the total number of listings, closed sales, and we know based on just different assets that we leverage where they're closing, what title company they're actually using once it happens.
So what's interesting, hey Woods, I'm kind of putting something in the back of your mind real quick. So what's interesting, so we have systems, like a lot of organizations and businesses have systems. You guys have a person with a system.
Yeah.
That's like,
So it's helpful for us that like looking at numbers, charts, and graphs, and to have that ability to say, maybe I can't do it, but we have someone who can.
I heard this a long time ago, Matt, from a guy. He said, you can't expect what you don't inspect.
Got to look under the hood all the time and see what's happening.
And it seems like you guys got that down, brother.
It's most helpful. It's most helpful because one of the biggest challenges for us or anybody in the real estate market, whether you're a mortgage company, whether you're a title company, whether you're an insurance company, the market is what the market is.
Got that right.
It's, it's been in our lifetime, it's been dormant, it's been gangbusters, it's been something in between.
Yep.
And so, there's 1.5 million realtors out there fighting for business.
Yeah.
There's a finite amount of homes for sale. And so the market is what the market is. It's how you deal with it. It's like you can hide behind the reason of, well, I'm not getting enough business because there's no listings. Okay, how do you flip it and look and say, how do I get more listings? How do I capture this business?
Yes.
Depending on where you're at in the real estate industry. So, it's a competitive world out there. It's, if I was a real estate agent, which I'm not, or a real estate broker, it's like, how do you differentiate yourself in the marketplace to make it, and to me, it would be, I'm going to make this easy for you. You want to list your house? Here's my fee. Here's how much, but here's my process. Here's how it's going to be the easiest thing for you. Turnkey.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
Love it. Oh, good.
Yeah.
What you got, man?
So I already wrote down that is a fourth quarter goal, having a data Yoda.
I told you, man.
Like that, man. I appreciate
it. I knew it. I saw was writing stuff down. I said, I already know we're hiring fourth quarter. I feel it coming.
And I mean, obviously, it's easy to say, I'll just hire a data person, but you got to find the right person.
You got to find the right
person. Plus, also, do you have the budget to do that? Is there a different way to look at it? Are there things that you could leverage right now with your team?
Yep.
Sort of begin the baby steps process. Like, hey, what do we want?
Yep.
Before you pull the trigger and say, all right, we're going to hire someone.
Yeah, right.
Like I would say, do a little brainstorming and say, what do we really want to get out of the data? Where does it exist? What systems are in place that maybe we could implement?
Mhm.
And if you choose, then definitely hire someone. But yeah, the data never lies.
Got that
That's,
right.
the numbers are what the numbers are.
Yep.
And you got to work within it. It's like, okay, what do we need to do to adjust?
Love it.
Mhm.
Good stuff.
So previously you mentioned AI, and we can't talk AI without talking future.
Oh yeah.
Right. So we know how the potential of how far AI can take us. It can take anybody's industry. Right. So with that said, where do you see yourself business wise and or personal wise in the next 6 to 12 months?
In regards to AI, Larry?
In regards to AI and business and just where Matt wants to be personally.
So I have accepted AI. I joke that I will be ultimately replaced by AI, but maybe not, because I think I got a good personality. I still have something to give. But
There you go.
Yep. I think in certain sectors, companies are already looking at AI. As an example, a friend of mine works for a law firm who is looking at implementing AI with the ultimate goal of cutting out the first layer of attorneys that they would hire straight out of law school to save them money.
Wow.
Leverage AI to do what a first-year associate would do. And so the partners of those firms love it because it's like, great, more money in our pocket. We don't have to sell out 100 whatever grand for a new associate.
All right.
But depending, I think there was this wave of AI is coming, get ready for it. You got to accept it because it's going to be in everything right now. And now there's sort of a backlash, I think, with all the recent graduations that took place, all the commencement speakers, it seems like every one of them talked about AI at some level and don't worry about it. I think AI in the right hands is going to be okay.
Yes.
It's the dark side that I worry about.
Correct.
So for Matt personally, I think AI, I use it most every day in work. I'm beginning to use it more for personal stuff in terms of just general information and questions, which is fine. But for work-related stuff, it's really streamlined my work. Where for what I do, like if I'm able to take a podcast episode and run it through AI and say, please write me a blog post for this podcast episode that Steve and I just did, it'll be 90% there.
That's awesome.
So I get that, I refine it, I clean some stuff up, put it in my own voice, and then we publish it. That's an example of literally saving time, where if I had to do it, it'd take me at least a couple hours.
Right, of course.
Where you put a transcript in through AI, literally within 10 seconds, you have the output.
Love that.
From a graphic standpoint, where I see AI impacting companies and organizations is with like a graphics department. Larger companies have in-house graphics departments, or there's companies specializing in graphics. How I see AI impacting that is you have one creative director who now all your assets are in a database somewhere, and you leverage AI to say, okay, according to our brand standards, create this template for YouTube, create this template for Instagram, help me create a video. It just makes those things easier. And unfortunately, I think there will be some impact staffing wise along the way. And from an organizational standpoint, we're sort of, I would say, at the early stages of integrating and leveraging AI. We have some people on staff who are very sharp that are actually teaching us how to look at it differently from the suite of AI products that are available through our company. So, I would say from AI, don't be afraid of it, embrace it, learn it, because it is here to stay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was,
Don't be afraid, Larry. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm not afraid. Like you said, there are bad actors out there. And when this stuff falls in the wrong hands, then that makes you wonder.
Yeah, you gotta. What I hate is you can't trust anybody these days. And when I say you can't trust anybody, you don't know what you're seeing or hearing is legit.
Right.
You know, and just using a title example, there's a lot of fraud in title insurance, and so you know we've seen that. Luckily for us, it's very minimal, but you hear the horror stories, or you see the videos of people. You know, you could do remote closings now, and you know, we have an exhaustive process to minimize any fraud, but it still happens with other companies where you'll see a video image of someone who looks legit and they move and there's a little glitch and you see it's not the person that you're seeing on the screen, or the voice has been altered. So
wow,
those are things. Yeah, it's very sophisticated and crazy out there, and you wish some of these bad actors would come to the good side and not focus on the bad.
Okay.
Well,
so with that said, if you had one major challenge today that you could solve, what would that be?
Great follow-up. Great follow-up.
Man, I want world peace, world hunger solved, no more wars. I want gas prices down to $1 a gallon again.
Oh man. 1997. I feel
those were the days.
96. I love it.
No, that's a big ask, Larry. I don't, you know, there's a lot of things I want, but
there's more than one challenge. Got it.
Yeah, there's when my kids were younger, that's what I would, when they said, "What do you do all day?" I said, "I solve problems." And I think that's what we all do.
Yeah.
We solve problems and we help others who don't want to deal with whatever their problem is. Make things easier, streamline for others, be a good person, provide great customer service and experience, do a good job, charge a fair price. I mean, to me, that's the simplest business lesson you could learn.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's pivot a little bit.
Yes, sir.
And I, you know, as a veteran in the business, you know, marketing and the things that you do, if someone's watching this podcast, they're like, you know what, you know, I hear everything he's saying. I'm in the business. I'm just trying to keep it going. I don't know if I want to quit. Or someone saying I'm looking to get into it, but I just can't really take the leap. You know, you're on the elevator with someone for a little bit, and that person's asking you questions, man. What would you say to me if I asked you that? How do you keep going, man? Like, and I'm sure you had some rough turns here and there, some pivots. Matt, help me out, man. I just can't find the.
So yeah, that's a great question. I guess get more detailed for which kind of role. You know, you talking real estate, you talking marketing, you talking.
Let's talk real estate. Let's just talk in general real estate. So someone's on real estate.
So if you're looking to get into real estate, I think there's a lot of people who think it's easy. I think it's portrayed, and in all honesty, it is easy to get into real estate. Meaning, if you want to become a real estate professional, you get licensed by your state. And I don't know how it is in Florida, Arizona, Texas, but here in Illinois, it's like a 45-hour course. You can take it online. You pass the final exam and you become a licensed real estate professional. So you're in the business.
Yeah.
Okay, now what?
Right.
So that's where, you know, if the individual is serious about it, I would say dedicate your, you know, we in the real estate world, agent broker world, and I use broker not as the office manager, but here in Chicago and Illinois, real estate brokers are technically real estate agents.
Got it.
So they're buying and selling, transacting real estate. You know, dedicate yourself to it. Find a mentor. Find the right company that you want to work for. It's not hard. You know, there's hundreds of real estate brokerages and companies out there that will train you. Which ones fit you perfectly? Which ones fit your personality? You know, there's, you know, here in Chicago, Compass, their technology, that's how they've positioned themselves. There's others that are more family oriented, tradition. Here's how we do it, more nurturing.
Yeah.
So it's tough. And I think if you were entering in, if I was on the elevator with someone say, "Man, I want to get my real estate license and make $1 million my first year," I would be like, "That's great. Let's recalibrate your expectations. Here's how it is."
Yeah.
You need to build your business. You need to build your relationships. Your family is only so big, so your family sphere isn't going to buy and sell real estate from you too much. So how do you expand that? How are you competing against other real estate professionals? How are you differentiating yourself? So think about all those things and then start incrementally building that business. And it's not going to be easy. And and so many people get into real estate because they think it's easy. They're working full time or they're working part time. I'm going to do this on the side, which for some people that definitely does work. But for the vast majority of quote unquote successful real estate professionals, it's an uphill climb. So you got to be dedicated. And you got to know what you're getting into before you get into it.
There's so many similarities in what you just said to our business as well. It's like spot on. I mean, you said the same thing, just change the industry. Same thing.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you could flip it for many, anything that you're dealing with individuals and individual transactions. If you call it very similar, I'm selling a set of encyclopedias. How is, it's
right.
You're selling something.
You went old school, Matt.
I know. I'm sorry for the kids out there.
They're like, what's that encyclopedia thing he said?
Right. For the kids out there, before there was Wikipedia, there was a printed Wikipedia that fit on a bookshelf.
Yes, it was. Yes. And they weighed like center blocks. They were. So let's take the same question though, same elevator. Let's talk about your expertise, marketing, right? And I'm gonna set this up a little bit because obviously we know there's a ton of marketing in real estate. We all know that. However, so there are some young professionals, especially, I went to Michigan State and I was in marketing. When you're coming up in marketing, at least in the world I'm privy to, real estate wasn't really a part of the marketing conversation. Like you were looking at ad agencies, right? Looking at all the different other sectors where marketing and advertising is needed and much wanted and all that stuff. But talk to people about the power of marketing in the real estate industry, because I don't think that's really talked about enough as far as a profession is concerned.
Yeah. So marketing from a real estate profession, I'm going to say it's twofold.
Okay.
So if you are the real estate professional, how realtors, real estate. So realtors, just so you guys know, realtor is a trademark term, meaning you're a member of the National Association of Realtors. 1.5 million people out there are quote unquote realtors. There's another million on top of that are called real estate licensees. So if you're in real estate with a license, you're about 2.5 million in the US.
Okay.
So those individual practitioners are taught pretty much from day one, if they work for a franchise or a brokerage, brand yourself. Mm-hmm. Meaning you could brand yourself Caldwell Banker. You could brand, our company brand is X. We're Remax. Sure. We're Compass. We're Caldwell Banker. By the way, Compass owns all of them now, so maybe it doesn't matter. But so you have the brokerage or franchise branding that you can leverage.
Yep.
And so people, legacy brands, you work for Remax. That's great. You got a nice balloon in your logo. Okay, I know who you are.
Right.
Caldwell Banker, I remember used to be in Sears. When I was younger, you go to the Caldwell Banker kiosk in my local Sears. So there's the marketing and branding of the companies themselves.
Yep.
These agents and individual brokers are also taught to brand themselves. Mm-hmm. So let's say I'm in the Chicago marketplace. We have a housing stock called the Chicago Bungalow. Maybe I would brand myself, I'm the Chicago Bungalow expert, to differentiate myself from everybody else.
Yeah.
Sure, there is a handful of people who are doing that. So in terms of, the marketing and branding of it, so individual agents, that's what they try and do. You'll see a lot of in each individual market. I'm the hat lady. I'm the hat guy. I'm the realtor who cares. You fill in the blank. So
sure.
Marketing and promotion from the individual level, but also the company level.
Beautiful. It's interesting, man. Let me ask you this last question, Larry. If you have something, you can wrap it up. I've noticed so many realtors, of friends of mine, people I know, met over my lifetime, where some get it when it comes to marketing and some do not as much. And even though the brokerage or the affiliation, Remax, whoever they're with, encourages them to obviously brand yourself, label yourself, blah, 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 leverage our resources. Do you think people underestimate marketing when they get their real estate license? And I feel like at least some people I know, it's like they got a license and they think just poof, deals come.
Yeah, you got to do more than just brand yourself and market yourself.
Okay.
You need to get in front of people. You need to showcase yourself. If you're new to the business, how do you position yourself versus someone who's been in the business 20 years? Mm-hmm. Where you can't compete on past deals and experience, but I come like if I was getting my real estate license, I would say I've been in real estate my entire career.
Okay.
All the jobs that I've had.
Sure.
And though I may not have done a transactions, I could give you stats and understand the marketplace probably better than 90% of the realtors out there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I have a business background, all those things. So that's how I would position myself if I was working with clients coming out from day one. But I would agree, people get into it because, and I've seen it. It's like Aunt Joan is listing their house. Oh, hey, I'm going to take that listing. Like, no, don't do that. When I worked for National Association of Realtors, we published a couple books probably 15 years ago, and they were the official guide to buying a house, the official guide to selling a house. And I was adamant that we add in information that says never work with a family member when you're buying or selling a house, because it's not going to help anybody out. And you're going to ruin the family relationship. And I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand so many times. Like Uncle Joe is the listing realtor selling your house, and he doesn't know what he's doing. Oh. And you wind up having to fire him or go with a different agent. And it's like, you don't want that. You want make it as simple as and easy from a custom. If you want to sell your house, look at everything. And I'm going to go be crazy here. Look, can you sell it yourself? Do you have the wherewithal to sell it yourself? You can do it. Yeah. It's just going to be a little more burden on you. Or do you want to offload it to a listing agent that has the infrastructure, the experience to help you do that quickly?
Interesting.
Make it minimally painless for you.
Thank you for that, man. Because that's one of the in real estate, financial business, I think people underestimate that when they get their license. Whether they get a Series 65, whether they get a real estate license, whether they get an insurance license, whether they get whatever. Like, I think that's one thing is it's not going to rain deals just because you got a certificate. Right.
I mean, hopefully the company that you work for helps give you some leads along the way. You're right. You get your Series 65. It's like here, in the old days, it would be here's your 2 pages, cold call these people.
Right.
This is how you do it. Go cold call these people. And I mean, in real estate, it's the same thing. I had talked about, we work with a large investor community.
Right. Yep.
They are competing with the realtors out there trying to get deals. And from an investor community standpoint, what they do is they hustle. They're looking for those hidden deals before it hits the MLS.
Right.
Yeah.
They're finding those absentee landlords or home buyers that are ready to sell before, and they're putting in they're grinding and getting the deals before it ever hits a real estate professional's desk or before it hits a brokerage's desk. And then the deal's done and it's like, wait, how did I miss out on that? It's like the grind is still part of life, and I think separates some success versus passively waiting for things to happen. You have to be an active participant, not only in your life, but also in your business and profession.
That sounds familiar, Woods. So you got to be active. So, Matt, we don't know. We had a wonderful guest, and we asked him a similar question, the elevator, what would you say to someone, blah, blah, blah. You just said you got to do something, but this is what he said. He said, well, what I would say is do something.
Do something.
He was quiet. That's all he said.
Hey, you guys have probably heard this. I say this a lot. Any decision is better than no decision.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so just don't leave people hanging. Don't leave yourself hanging. Yeah. Make a decision. And it may not be the right decision, but maybe at that time when you're making that decision, it's like, this is based on everything I see, everything I know, this is where I'm going. And you got to live with it, whether it's right or wrong. It's like, I got to live with this.
Yeah.
All right, Larry, wrap us up, man. What you got from that? And then we'll let my man get back to this day. This has been awesome, dude. This is so much fun.
This has been awesome. Really, I'm out of questions. I just find it refreshing to hear that there are some real estate firms out there that are actually training, giving their agents correct training, especially fresh out of school. And I would just add to and employ that whoever out there is looking to be a real estate agent, do your due diligence. Find somebody that's actually going to give you the truth, because I don't know if it's the same as when I started, but the startup costs involved. This is after school, after you get your license.
Oh yeah.
Because the whole marketing part, that dime is on you.
Yeah, it's you bring up a great point, Larry. You start off, there's a lot of upfront cost associated with it, because you are, I think it's 80%, or you're not going to be a full-time employee. You're a 1099 employee, independent contractor. So you're on the hook for your marketing spend, your desk spend, your office technology spend. Depending on the brokerage you work for, if you decide to work for, that's the advice that you guys talk to my partner Steve Kemp, colleague Steve. That's part of it, is know what you're getting into, because it's not a free, your MLS fees, your realtor dues. I mean, that's at least $5,000 out of pocket up front.
Yeah.
When you do if you look at everything, it's like you're cutting a check to multiple people before you've brought in any income. So just be aware of it. There's a lot of success out there. You see it, the shows the real estate shows you see on HGTV and other places, Bravo now, they're making lots of money hand over fist. That's not how it is. The median income is probably $40,000 to $50,000 when you run the numbers on all realtors out there. So there's a lot of people making big money, but there's a lot of people living hand to fist.
Yeah.
This is why I wanted to have you on.
Wow.
You keep it real.
I would say that it's a blessing and a curse that I do keep it real. Yes.
The way Larry and I see it, it's a blessing.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
Well, I appreciate that.
It's refreshing. It's real talk. You're setting people up for success by giving truth.
Yeah. And I mean, know your skill sets for people out there, know your assets, know where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are. And are your weaknesses embedded where it's like, I'm uncomfortable, I don't want to work on this weakness because it's too much. I hate public speaking and I can't stand on a stage, so I will never public speak. Some people can't speak in front of people. Okay. Can you work on it, or is your fear too great?
Yes.
That decision and say, okay, I'm going to sit behind the scenes and do things different, not be in the front, but be in the back and try and make change that way. Know your skill set, know what your assets are, sort of have a game plan.
Yeah.
But keep it real, which I appreciate. You got to keep things real.
Yes, you do, man. Woods, this has been great. Matt, we thank you so much for taking the time to kick it with us, man, and chat. Share truth. I know this is not going to be the last time we speak, my friend. Absolutely not. This is a gem. This is going to be a great pod to put out and people to learn and enjoy the content, the conversation. That's cutting up a little bit, man. So,
well, I appreciate the opportunity. I'm grateful to be a part of this with you, Mondo and Larry. I love what you guys are doing. I think when we spoke last, I said, you guys I would love to work for your company. You got a lot of personality. I think you guys have a lot of fun in your workday, which to me is more important than anything, especially at the age I'm at. It's like the people I work with, I love and respect. We get along great and we're doing great things, and it showcases, it shows in the business that we're generating. And so all those things come into play, and I see that's what you guys are doing too. So kudos to you.
Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate your kind words, man. Hey, you can find Matt on LinkedIn. You can definitely, we'll put his information in the description so you can find him there and the company he's working with. even his colleague Steve, you mentioned earlier. Love to make sure you guys can reach out if you're in the Chicago area, Illinois area, any area.
And not to take away from your podcast, Steve and I do a weekly podcast.
Yes.
Market Trends.
Yes.
It's part of People Not Titles. You can go to peoplenottitles.com and check us out. But Steve and I do a weekly podcast where we talk about the trends in the real estate market, on the biggest headlines happening in the real estate market nationwide. And because we're Chicago-based, we sort of drill down usually in the episode of what's happening locally. But it's a lot of fun. Check out the episode with Mondo, Larry, AJ,
I vouch for it. I've seen it, bro. Like, I've seen it. I'm a fan. Like,
I appreciate it. We have a lot of fun doing it. So I know you guys are having fun with this too. So
yeah, man.
Like I said, I'm grateful for the opportunity and appreciate you guys.
Hey, our pleasure, man. Hey, with that said, my brother Matt, brother Larry, Mondo, thank you for joining AMG Podcast. We see you guys next time with another wonderful guest. Hey, have a great day. It's past the fourth. Half the year's already gone. Hey, what you going to do third and fourth quarter? I think Matt just said it. Do something. Do something. All right, you guys have a good one. We'll see you next time.
This the AMG way, we don't follow the crowd. Quiet money moves, we just say it out loud. Tax-free living, long plays over hype. Build it right once, let the legacy right. We talk ownership.